If you're not really loving your reality right now, stop thinking about it. Stop thinking about it so much and start thinking about the reality you do want. Hey there, prosperity seeker, and welcome to another episode of the Prosperity Approach. I'm your host, Allyson Chavez. As always, I'm so grateful and thrilled that you're spending your time here with me today. Today, I am really excited to talk about the power of our thoughts and the greater power of our vision. For those of you who can't see me online, I'm actually wearing my Ireland shirt. I'll even just show it to you. For those of you who can see, because you're watching the video, I was pulled to Ireland today. And I was like, oh, I haven't worn this shirt in quite some time. As of the recording of this podcast, it's super, super cold outside. So usually I'm in sweaters and bundled up. But I was like, I really want to wear my Ireland shirt today. And it's kind of put me in that Irish mood. And I started thinking about the different aspects of the vacation that Jeremy and I took to Ireland a number of months ago. And the amazing things that happened. I think the most amazing thing that happened is Jeremy's luggage got lost on our way to Ireland. It made it from Salt Lake to Paris, but did not make it from Paris to Ireland with our connecting flight. And it was interesting because we got to the Dublin airport and my luggage spit off that carousel, no problem. And then we just kept waiting and waiting and waiting for Jeremy's suitcase to drop onto that carousel. And after about an hour of watching that thing, we realized suitcase isn't there. And then I started getting aware of my surroundings, and it was like island of the lost luggage there at the Dublin airport. And there was luggage piled in every available corner and sectioned off with lost luggage. And I was like, oh dear. Oh dear, what are we going to do? Well, we decided to get into the lost luggage line so that we could put in a claim for it, and then they could hopefully find it and then deliver our luggage to us while we were there for 10 days on our trip. That line took 2 hours. Now, mind you, there were 6 people ahead of us. We still stood in line for 2 hours to submit our claim for lost luggage. Now, I'm trying to stay grounded and stay cool because Jeremy's not. Jeremy's having a freak out and he's getting really frustrated. And at one point he said, why in the world did we travel right now? Why? The airlines are such a mess. Everything is so crazy. Why did we decide to do this right now? And I looked at him and I said, because on the other side of that door is Ireland. And we're here to experience Ireland, which we had never, ever done before. So I'll skip to the end. He never did get his luggage delivered to us while we were on our bus tour in Ireland. He actually became the whole belle of the tour because his luggage consisted of some grocery sacks because we had to go shopping and get him a new wardrobe while we were there. And he actually, he calmed down and we had a wonderful time and people were just amazed at his good attitude with everything. Well, we got home and it took about a week and we were talking about it. And he said, I have to tell you something. My biggest fear about traveling to Ireland and checking luggage was that my luggage would be lost. And that's what I kept picturing. Was our luggage getting lost? And I looked at him, and initially I wanted to be like, what? Do you never listen to a word I say and then what I teach? And he doesn't, and that's fine. He doesn't need to. You're never a prophet in your own country. And I don't want to be, and that's totally fine. But I looked at him and I was like, you're a very, very powerful creator. You created exactly what you didn't want. Wow. Dang, look at that. And he's like, yeah, for months I've been thinking about it. For months I could just picture it. And I'm like, that's how you create. You rearranged stuff for your luggage to be lost in Paris or stuck in Paris instead of making it all the way to Ireland. That's pretty darn impressive, dude. I wonder if you can get the luggage here. And so he actually said, what I'm picturing now is the luggage delivered on our doorstep. And I just am seeing it there. And I'm just like, he's like, well, I might as well. The luggage is gone. And there wasn't anything valuable in it, thankfully. So, it didn't matter if it came or not. But that's what he started picturing. It took 4 weeks. 4 weeks after we returned home from our 10-day trip to Ireland, and his luggage got delivered to our doorstep and had quite a jaunt around the world before it made it back to our doorstep. So I give you this cautionary tale to let you know how wicked powerful you are to create your reality. But the problem is most of us create the reality we don't desire. That's how I got us into a chapter 13 bankruptcy, because that was my biggest fear, even more than dying. It was my biggest fear. Bankruptcy was my biggest fear. And I so didn't want it that I kept trying to avoid it. And I kept thinking about it and stewing about it and worrying about it. And I'm a very powerful creator as well. And that's what I brought to us. That's what I pulled to us. It ended up being one of the greatest blessings of our lives. I was thinking that a 2.5-year financial free fall, this was at least 4 years ago, was going to end with us just splattered on the ground as if it was like a 1,000-foot drop off of a cliff that I'd launched us off of. But it wasn't. It was like when you step off a curb and you don't realize the curb is there. It was a little jolting, but it was only like 3 inches, so it wasn't a big deal. And it was a huge blessing. Now, I don't recommend people just file bankruptcy as a matter of course, but it was a really very powerful, pivotal moment in my life. But I created just what I didn't want to, because I kept thinking about it. I kept stewing about it. I kept fearing it. I kept trying to avoid it. But what I did was bring it to me, because that's all I thought about. So if you're not really loving your reality right now, stop thinking about it. Stop thinking about it so much and start thinking about the reality you do want. Now, I know that it feels easy to say and hard to do. Everything is easier to say than it is to do. And here's the thing. We're in some really unique circumstances right now in the history of the world and everything that's going on in the planet, with inflation, with politics, and people's beliefs are being very polarized. There's a lot of intentional divisiveness that's going on in our country and also globally. So there are some things that are influencing our circumstances right now. Certainly inflation, certainly some unrest. And so I'm not dismissing those. However, now is the most perfect time in the history of the world to put this theory to the test. Am I really powerful enough to create the reality that I actually desire? And if I am, what reality do I want? And you can just pick one thing. You just pick one thing in your reality. It doesn't have to be change everything. And even if your life is feeling really, really great right now, it can always be enhanced. So pick one cornerstone of prosperity, of physical, like in your health, financial, your relationships, or your level of spirituality. If I know people are feeling really, really disconnected from God right now, that might be a really great cornerstone to enhance or to repair right now. But just pick one. Just pick one and start thinking about how you'd like your life to look and what you'd like your life to feel like. It certainly beats doom and gloom. It certainly beats worrying and trying to avoid. But you are massively, massively powerful to create your reality. So my advice to you is to create the reality that you desire. Now, if you want some more tips about creating the reality you desire, my big experiment this year is, can I live in feminine energy and tap into masculine energy and still have phenomenal results and live life on my terms? My hypothesis is yes, absolutely, I can. But you got to understand the difference between feminine energy and masculine energy, how they're actually meant to work together in balance and in alliance, and what you're like when you show up in each of those energies. And so to shed some more light on that, I'm hosting a free masterclass. It's called Success the Feminine Way. And if you feel pulled to join that, if you feel intrigued or curious about that, you can go on over to prosperityapproach.com/feminine masterclass. That's all one word, no spaces, no hyphens, all one word. Get yourself registered and we'll see you there. And until next time, remember, prosperity becomes you. Bye-bye.